Sports Central, in conversation with Adrian Abraham on MoneyFM 89.3.
Thanks for joining us on MoneyFM 89.3. And today, my guest on the show is Mr. Selvakumar Panneerselvam. He's a tournament director at SingaCup. Great to have you on the show, Selva. How are you?
Hi, Adrian. I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, really good. Just happy that it's Friday and the weekend is finally here. And let's talk about your tournament, SingaCup. You know, it's held in Singapore annually in the month of November. However, this time you guys are starting at the end of October. And it's the largest and fastest growing 11-a-side tournament, international youth football tournament in Southeast Asia, having commenced in 2011. You know, you started with 12 teams. What has been your biggest takeaway from organizing this tournament so far?
Yeah, the SingaCup is such a rewarding experience for us as organizers. And of course, it's been an honor seeing it grow leaps and bounds year after year. Like you mentioned before, we have developed the event from a small-scale event with 12 teams and to what was originally planned for a 200-team event for 10th anniversary this year in 2020. And for us, like every SingaCup family reunion, family members coming from around the region, gathering like in the first weekend of November. Also, we have met like so many wonderful people and developed many strong relationships all over the region in the past 9 years. And despite the differences we all have, football really does unite us and brings us together. Also, the fact that so many teams actually return year after year and they also pencil it in their yearly sporting calendar, I think for us as organizers, it's truly gratifying. And I'm also again thankful that despite the pandemic and the rough times that we have, I'm able to pull through the tournament this year. And it's a reminder that the sport continues and COVID can't stop us. The biggest takeaway for me is actually unifying the community through football.
And you did mention that this year is a very special occasion for SingaCup. You know, marking your 10th anniversary must make you very proud to see where you started this tournament and what it has become. Of course, we have to talk about the pandemic. Things are obviously different. You mentioned, you usually welcome 200 teams from 10 or more countries. What can we expect from SingaCup this year? Because it's going to be an East SingaCup 2020. What are some of the things that are going to be different this time round?
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate. And due to the unexpected pandemic, we had to reinvent the wheel and actually present a hybrid event. And we have named it as E-SingaCup 2020. And it actually consists of a e-conference segment. We'll also be having an e-sports tournament where there'll be two different formats. One will be 1v1 and the other one will be 11v11 professional edition. And also along with this, we'll be having a music fest. Again, will be done virtually. Also a mobile app skills challenges and also a various number of e-contests, which is like the ball design competition, and also we have a skill zone competition as well. And also I think this year, despite being online, E-SingaCup 2020 actually offers much more, and I hope it stands to be a great edition in commemoration of our 10th anniversary as well.
Well, that's a lot of events that you talked about. I'm sure it's going to be, fairly exciting. Now, 70% of participating teams attend from overseas, attracting more than 7,500 participants and spectators for the usual week-long event at the SingaCup. I'm sure in the last 9 years, you would have, of course, seen a lot of young talent. What are some of the success stories that you can tell me from the tournament, from what you've witnessed as the tournament director?
Yeah, like I'm saying, I'm quite fortunate and also proud to mention that actually some of our previous participants, the footballers, they have since actually developed into professional footballers, gone on to sign professional contracts, and also they've even represented their nation on the international stage. So as part of that also, we have actually invited 4 of our SingaCup alumnus to actually come back and speak in a couple of our e-conferences. So for example, just to name a few, closer to home, we have Iksan Fandi, who's flying his straight in Norway and also representing Singapore national team. We also have Philippines national team and Eskil's development team player, Xavier Gayoso. And I think the other one I have is also Australian Billy Katapolis, who represents Darwin Olympic Sporting Club. And even we have one from Indonesia as well, Hilarious Brian, who is now a little different as he's studying political science and he wishes to change football as an administrator. So that's another interesting story, which will be shared further during the broadcast during SingaCup. I believe actually SingaCup has created a platform that for many young kids to actually dream of a career in football. And this special breed of players actually been talent spotted during the event and have been invited to train in France and Spain. So I believe with all these, I think SingaCup has presented an opportunity for many children to actually travel to Singapore, and bulk of them, in fact some of them actually have never left their hometown and not even traveled on an aeroplane. So I think this is testament to the kids' the sheer perseverance, resilience and hard work, which is in line with SingaCup's theme for 2020.
And as a tournament director, I'm sure, seeing these young individuals thrive and succeed on the biggest stage must make you so happy, given that all this effort goes into putting this tournament together. For this year, the theme of the event is showcasing the spirit of perseverance, resilience, and hard work, and it is justified given the current pandemic. What are some of the challenges that you've faced, hosting the event this year? Because like we mentioned earlier, it's so different from what you've experienced before.
Indeed. I guess the biggest challenge was to figure out how to transform a purely physical grassroots football event into something that is both interactive and interesting in the virtual world. Like we all know, football is meant to be played on the field. So we had to be innovative in what was actually challenging times. And along the way, you have to embrace technology in order to stay relevant. But of course, not forgetting, we have to maintain the spirit of SingaCup as well. So we had to think and then make the event more than just another esports event. Although we have 2 large esports competitions with participants from around the region, we were striving to actually present a more holistic event. So it was actually to create programs that appeal to a variety of people and interests and of age. And also to engage our existing SingaCup audience who have been supporting us for the past 9 years. And of course, along the way, attracting new followers. So we created, like I mentioned before, we had different skills competition. And also we expanded the sense that we have a digital music festival and movie screening as well. So we also wanted to make a contribution to the football community in an educational capacity too. So we had a webinar and also some public interest segments with various guests who are industry experts, such as Mr. Fritz, who's actually UEFA and FIFA technical consultant. We also have Miss Chan, who's actually a AFC woman instructor, and also we have special guests for this SingaCup with Tim Cahill and Sunil Chetri, just to name a few. So like I said, there were challenges in different aspects. So the guests all live in different countries with different time zones. So when you actually schedule a live broadcast, you have to be sensitive to the guests' own circumstances, and also you have to balance that against organizing the timing of the program and when it's most likely to be convenient for people to tune in. And of course, the other challenge was the new football calendar. The season has all been mixed up with the pandemic, so it made things a little tricky, and our guests again were in different phases of their season. But thankfully, despite all these challenges, we were extremely excited for the event's kickoff, and I hope to see that football fans around the world convene to enjoy this holistic virtual football experience that we have organized.
Yeah, and you did mention the likes of Timmy Cahill and Sunil Chetri, 2 of the biggest names that Asian football has seen in recent years. And the movie as well, with the screening of Kalang Roar. And also 2 exciting, FIFA 21 esports competitions supported by a few other segments. You mentioned the music events as well. Putting all these things together, what do you plan to achieve? Making it not open to just football fans, but it's almost like you're inviting everyone out there to join you and come forward and be a part of this special 10th anniversary e-event of the SingaCup.
So basically, besides just the virtual tournaments we had planned, I think we also had the idea of having an element for every type of football fan and even the community in general. So we want to be able to reflect on football as a sport and also a symbol of unity to bring people together. Also professionals of present and the past to speak about their experiences, as well as engage the football community that doesn't just consist of gamers but also designers, general enthusiasts of the sports through a variety of activities. Movies are great for movie buffs, while music as always needed to set the tone for the event, be it a physical coming together on a virtual event. Through this, I think the SingaCup actually seeks to reaffirm its stronger standing in international grassroots football community and also attracting new friends and a greater audience. But of course, not forgetting showcasing Singapore and of course the event as well online. And we seek to remain relevant during this time. All grassroots football events are unfortunately cancelled and effectively out of the public consciousness. So that's why we had planned a different segment along with the esports as well.
And you're certainly doing your part given the current pandemic and to make this event just as special as any other Singa event would be. Now, let's finally talk about the CSR initiatives that the Cup has implemented. Can you expand on these initiatives?
Yeah, so we actually have a CSR component in SingaCup. So we name it the SingaCup Football Experience. It's more of a regional initiative focused on assisting the wider underprivileged community in Southeast Asia. So we use football as a platform to actually motivate and inspire children towards education and sports. And it's normally a 2-day football camp, which is traditionally hosted by a professional football player. And also they'll participate in basic English language classes for countries whose first language are not English. And also we work with professional football clubs in each of the host cities and make sure the children have the opportunity to interact with the club's professionals and also get a stadium visit as part of a live match experience. And of course, on top of all this, we also organize seminars for local grassroots coaches which contribute to our grassroots development in the city. We've done before with Sports SG and Coaches SG. Through all this, I think this initiative actually has benefited more than, I would say, at least 600 youth, mainly from Cambodia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand since 2014.
And it's great to hear that, you've been involved in all these other initiatives and, giving back to the community in terms of your CSR. The SingaCup 2020 virtual event kicks off tomorrow, Saturday, the 31st of October, and it goes all the way till the 4th of November 2020. Now, Selva, where can individuals out there who are listening to this conversation, how can they, get involved, follow the event? Is there a website or any other streaming service that they can get onto to really be part of the event?
So we try to be as inclusive as much as possible. So we have actually various platforms. So primarily it'll be streamed via www.singacup.com. Also, we'll also be streaming via Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube, where we have our SingaCup TV. So all the social media handles are actually under SingaCup itself. So these are the various platforms that actually catch the broadcast.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, Selva. And I wish that you have a fantastic tournament. Yeah, look forward to hearing some great stories. And congratulations on 10 years of the SingaCup. I'm sure as the tournament director, you must be very proud of what you've achieved in these last 9 years, and particularly with the 10th one. Even given the pandemic, I'm sure that, with the events that you've planned, it'll be, just an incredible experience.
Indeed. Thanks for having me on the show. Thanks, Adrian. And I hope to receive all of your support for this SingaCup 2020. And I hope to be back bigger next year, SingaCup 2021. Thank you.
What's happening in your world? What's current? What's to come? In news, at the top and 30 minutes past the hour, and any time it breaks. Money FM 89.3. Stay ahead.